What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome back to Dragon Age Awakening. Now here we are back by the bonfire in the throne room, so you all know what that is. It is story time. As always, this is not a main episode of the Let's Play. This is going to be a Codex lore reading episode. If that's not something you're interested in, then go ahead and click away now and wait for a main episode of the Let's Play. If that is something you're interested in, let's dive into some of the juicy codexes we've been picking up along the way. The Children. The Children appeared to be twisted mutations of Darkspawn. They have set even Herlocks, Genlocks, and Ogres to fleeing. The monsters appear first as childer grubs, gruesome larval creatures that wriggle on the ground. This is the only vulnerable stage of their development. To squish them is to do the world a favor. When grubs devour the flesh of slain Darkspawn, a dramatic change occurs. To a sound of tearing flesh, legs emerge. The childer can now run down its prey with startling speed. The Disciples. The Disciples are Darkspawn that have become sapient after some sort of process of awakening, after which they choose their own names. They are cunning, powerful, and hold influence over non-awakened Darkspawn. The Disciples are split into two factions. Some serve the Architect, some the Mother. Inferno Golem. It's so much better when it's on fire. Centuries ago, during the Dwarven Empire's Golden Age, dwarves commanded vast armies of golems. Golems guarded the Taigs and patrolled every branch of the Deep Roads. As men of steel and stone, they were eternal, indestructible, and perfectly obedient. But Paragon Hirol was not satisfied. He wanted Kal'Hirol's golems to be greater. In his forge, he gave them hearts like furnaces that would burn evermore. Thus became the Inferno Golems, with eyes that burned and veins coursing with molten lava. The port city of Amaranthine. Outside of Ferelden, the city of Amaranthine is now synonymous with the Arling herself, but before the Orlesian invasion, it was only a modest fishing village, despite a deep port well suited to commerce. At that time, few other kingdoms had any need to trade with the Ferelden barbarians. The city changed rapidly when the Orlesians came. They built temporary docks to accommodate ships packed with chevaliers, and for a time, Amaranthine was the capital of occupied Ferelden. The Ban of Amaranthine became one of the wealthiest nobles in the kingdom, as goods like wool were leached from the city's swollen ports. During the liberation, the fleeing Orlesians looted the city, but left it otherwise unscarred. She recovered quickly. Ironically, Amaranthine's current prosperity is the legacy of Orlesian occupation. Do not share that opinion with the locals, mind. From Annals of Northern Ferelden, by Brother Bedine, Chantry Scholar. The Howes of Amaranthine are one of the oldest noble families in Ferelden. Their lineage traces to the time of Calenhad, when Elias Howe was one of the first freeholders to follow Calenhad. During the occupation, Arl Tarleton Howe, Rendon Howe's father, drew his lot in with the Orlesians. After several bitter battles with rebels, the town of Harper's Ford, an outpost governed by Tarleton Howe, fell to the Kuzlins of Hyaber. Tarleton hanged. Rendon brought the Howe family over to the side of Marek Theron and Lorgain MacTier's rebellion. Rendon's bravery at the Battle of White River, fighting alongside Bryce Kuzland, earned back his family's honor. When King Marek took the throne in Free Ferelden, Rendon Howe was decorated for his service. From Annals of Northern Ferelden, by Brother Bedine, Chantry Scholar. The Fortress of Kal'Hirol. The Fortress of Kal'Hirol was established by Paragon Hirol and became known as a center of learning for smiths. Its workshops are where Paragon Hirol conceived his famous improvements to golem resilience and power, and where Hirol's favorite student developed a method for storing refined lyrium that is still used today. These breakthroughs brought Kal'Hirol great prosperity, its passageways glittering with gold and silver. For decades, the Taig was the favored home of apprentice smiths. Unfortunately, as time wore on, only the richest could afford to train there. When the Darkspawn came, Kal'Hirol was among the first of the great Taigs to fall. Our people still mourn the loss. From the writings of Shaper Iserain. The Paragon Hirol. Paragon Hirol was born a warrior. He excelled at arms and strategy, but was not content. Hirol believed he was born outside the caste system, able to be anything he chose, a warrior, a smith, even a noble. He would not rest until he'd mastered the art of war, the art of smithing, and the art of rule. He was eccentric, maybe even mad. Some said he'd taken too many blows to the head in the provings, yet Hirol accomplished what he set out to do. He trained under the greatest smiths and the greatest warriors, and his achievements in both fields were so great that the assembly could not help but make him a paragon. Thus, Noble House Hirol was born. From the writings of Shaper Iserain. The Great Strife. Worn inscriptions deep in the bowels of Vigil's keep tell of the Avar clan that settled here, with our warriors unmatched in skill and strength, and here we settled, in the caves carved by the hand of Korth, the Mountain Father. Ruadan, shaman of the people, turned from the gods who had ever sheltered him. In his grief, he destroyed the gifts of the Mountain Father and brought us low. The darkness drove him to madness, but also gave him power. He turned our warriors against us. Kiviol sought out the dwarves, and together they bound Ruadan to this place. Vigil's Keep is one of the oldest settlements in Ferelden, older than Denerim and Gwaran. The barbarians who battled the Tevinter Imperium chose this location for a fortress so that their warning fires would be visible at great distance when Tevinter ships neared the coast. The Vigil has seen battle in every major invasion of Ferelden. Tevinter's rival barbarian clans and Orlesians have all held her battlements. The Vigil was the first fortress to fall to the Orlesians and the last to be freed. The cellar beneath Vigil's Keep retains traces of the Avar barbarians. To the Avars, the Vigil was both a fortress and a holy site. The cellars bear monuments to their gods, heroes, and their rare military victories. Sigrun. A wise man once told me never to argue with someone better armed than the entire warrior caste on parade. Sigrun is a member of the Legion of the Dead, warriors exiled from Orzammar and sent on suicide missions against the Darkspawn. The Warden commander found Sigrun fleeing a Darkspawn nest in Kal'Hirol, the last survivor of her group. She has broken the Legion's oath by not fighting to her death. Sigrun joined Apparition to destroy the Darkspawn nest. After Kal'Hirol was purged of Darkspawn, Sigrun agreed to join the Grey Wardens. She survived the joining. Sigrun is fascinated by the surface world. She collects little curiosities from all over Thedas. Dailan's Journal. To Platanis. More southern Tigers have fallen. Varentig and Kalbarash are overrun. 4,000 lives lost. The Darkspawn are almost at the gates of Kal'Hirol. The fortress must be evacuated. For Platanis. There will be an exodus to Orzammar. Many nobles are appalled. Orzammar being a trade city so close to the surface. They fear losing their stone sense to the surface vapors. A ridiculous notion. But Orzammar is the easiest to defend. 7 Platanis. Scouts have sighted the horde. It is vast. To outrun the Darkspawn, the commanders say we must leave now with nothing beyond bare essentials. 7 Platanis. Addendum. I have volunteered to remain behind with a contingent of men. We'll hold off the Darkspawn so others can escape. Ancestors have mercy. 9 Platanis. The castless are still here, forgotten in the panic. They are 500 strong. If even half can be inspired to fight, they'll make an army. There is a chance, a small chance, that this will make the difference. 10 Platanis. 200 men and women. Ancestors grant that 200 are enough. 15 Platanis. The Darkspawn have pushed us back to the inner keep. Only a handful of us survive, but we've held them back 5 days. We could not have done this without the castless. No, not castless. To call them castless would be a mistake. Their sacrifice must not be forgotten. A letter to Rendon Howe. My Lord Howe, some of the men are not pleased with your plan. They will incite others against you. For the plan to succeed, our forces must be united. If word gets out, if even one of them informs Kuzland, it will be your head on a plate. I say this with all due respect, sir. Your captain, Lyle. Response from Rendon Howe. Lyle, we cannot afford an insurrection. Put any troublemakers in chains. Do whatever it takes to weed them out. Whatever it takes, Lowen. Do not fail me. I'll Rendon Howe. So you see there, a lot of the nobles of Amaranthine weren't on board with him wiping out the Kuzlans. In fact, they had to chain up and execute their own people just to get the plan to go through. Scumbag as he was, I'm glad we took him out. Darran Lyle's missive. Elmore, I found what we've been looking for. Better, even. Stop digging and pack up your gear. I'm heading back to camp. Meet me there. We'll go to Amaranthine, find a buyer, and strike it rich. Darran Lyle. Alrighty, and that is all caught up with the codex to this point. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, as always, there is a tip link in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned, and I'll see you soon with more Dragon Age Awakening. Take care, everybody. Have a good day.